Hey there, folks. Welcome to the traveling Ripton Community Coffee House. So this is our first time ever having the coffee house in Bristol. And, you know, these are strange times. And so we are trying to make it so that we keep everybody safe. And one of the things that we've got happening up in Ripton is the community house isn't yet set up so that it has sufficient ventilation to keep everybody safe. And so that's why we're here at Holley Hall, the beautiful Holley Hall, which they renovated several years ago, and it's a beautiful place. Happy that we were able to be here. I think that next month we will either be in Ripton or we will be back at Burnham Hall in Lincoln, where we were last month. But we're looking forward to getting back home sometime soon. I kind of feel like we're that gnome from the Amelie movie, you know, that shows up in different places. But hopefully we won't get too far afield. We won't be showing up in somewheres in New York State or something like that. But it's great that you folks have braved the sort of lousy weather tonight and come here. A very intimate crowd we've got tonight. Just a few announcements. The bathroom here at Holley Hall is at the very back over there if you go just to the side of the steps that go up to the balcony. We also have refreshments just out there by the doors you came in. You probably noticed those already. We ask that when you have the refreshments that you step outside. The porch has a cover on it, so you can still eat, but hopefully the rain, the light rain will stop anyway. But we will be taking an intermission, a short intermission, so that we'll get 2 sets from Scott Cook tonight. We will be passing around clipboards, so we're going to just try to get your email addresses so that we can send you our wonderful mailing list, and it makes you eligible for free CDs that we're going to be giving away today, and hopefully you still have a CD player, and otherwise, they make great coasters. So, the So as Beth said, if we're going to do this for contact tracing, we will need your emails. But if you don't want to be on the mailing list, just say no mailing list or something like that. If you just put no, we'll know what you mean. Okay. So I first heard Scott at, I think it was NERFA, that we went to one of his showcases, and he just blew us away. And then we heard him again at like a Canadian showcase, which was he just did this great song there. And so we were hoping to have him back have him here earlier. You might recall that we had him scheduled for April of 2020. And unfortunately, things got in the way of being able to do concerts for 2020 after March. So it's great to finally get him here. So warm welcome, please, for Scott Cook.
Thanks, friends. Can we have some love for Richard, please? This guitar came from a timber, from the body of a tree, through the workshop of a luthier. Now it's on loan to me, and it's good company after dinner. And it fits my hands just fine, but someday another singer with a pair of hands like mine will coax out songs much prettier, still hiding in its strings, and sing stronger, braver words than I could ever sing. And folks are gonna love it. Of this I'm almost sure. So I'll take good care of it, 'cause I'm borrowing it from her. Pass it along, pass it along. May it land in careful hands when we're gone. You carry it for a moment, but time won't loan it to you for long. You don't own it, pass it along. And I still love my country. Sometimes it's hard to recognize it, but I count myself lucky to have been born inside it. And I'm grateful for the rights others struggled hard to win. You can be sure I'm gonna fight when they try and take them back again. Oh, and everywhere are teachers, though some fell along the way. The words they said still reach us, just like you're teaching me here today. And it might not be out loud, but it's clear in what you do. And I hope to make you proud, 'cause I borrowed it from you. Pass it along, pass it along. May it land in careful hands when we're gone. Carry it for a moment, but time won't loan it to you for long. You don't own it, pass it along. Seems these days we're in a hurry to grab up all that's left to use, putting patents on discovery, making seeds that don't reproduce. If our vision is so narrow, seeing only bought and sold, we'll end up like the pharaohs, buried with their gold. We've all pushed this thing along, we've all been guided by our fear, but the river sings a song we've gotta be quieter to hear. It's in every child's face, new and hopeful as a stem. Best be gentle with this place, 'cause we're borrowing it from them. Pass it along, pass it along. May it land in careful hands when we're gone. Carry it for a moment, but time won't loan it to you for long. You don't own it, pass it along, pass it along, pass it along. May it land in careful hands when we're gone. You carry it for a moment, time won't loan it to you for long. You don't own it, pass it along. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here, friends. It's been a crazy time that we've all been through, and I'm so glad that we can gather together. And I realize that it's not without risk coming out and hanging out in a group in indoors. And I appreciate all you being here that much more. on account of that. And I gotta say, gosh, is it ever good to sing songs for human beings again? We tried as hard as we could when we were doing our internet shows, but it's very difficult to project warmth through a webcam. I hope the people felt it on the other end, but boy, it's nice to see you here in the flesh. Aren't some people just famous for being famous? Isn't that about all that they do? And couldn't the radio leave you feeling aimless? Just a nameless person like you. But I sure heard the words Woody Guthrie sang, even when they didn't quite rhyme. He knew the heart was the stuff. They'd be close enough further down the line. I've painted houses, mopped floors and washed dishes, taught kids, cut grass and moved gear, swung hammer, cleaned toilets and dug ditches, and I even sang songs to sell beer. But it was all for someone else's dream, till I set out after mine. Said, take this hammer, take it to the captain, tell him I'm further down the line. I crossed the Fraser, the Columbia, the Mississippi, the Allegheny and the Ohio, St. Lawrence, Susquehanna, Chattahoochee, the Hudson and the Colorado. I saw the big rig sleeping in the starry desert, saw the snow piled round the Yukon pines. But I couldn't hang around too long in New York town without looking further down the line. Some of the joints in New Orleans aren't pretty, but the waitresses will call you hun, and a cop will stay on the white side of the city, 'cause they paid for his hat and his gun. And there's a Gulf War vet by the overpass who says, bro, can you spare a dime? Who's he kidding? These days a dollar won't be getting you any further down the line, boys. I saw the stars and bars flying in Dixie, and doomsday prophets on Capitol Hill. I saw a fast food mall named after Walt Whitman, and Gettysburg ghosts wandering still. If our families are so broken, how do we make a family out of humankind? We still got promises to break and miles to go before we wake further down the line. I saw the homeless and the houses sitting empty. I heard the explanations of learned men. Nowadays they'll rob you with the computer, 'cause it's faster than a fountain pen. And if smarter people haven't found a gap in the armor, why do I keep trying? I still believe there's a world dying to be born further down the line, friends, further down the line. Oh, Woody, I've been through all kinds of weather, been searching all the faces for a sign. As you know, love's hard to keep together. As the miles and the years unwind, and you never run out of blacktop, no, you just run out of time. That ribbon of songs keeps on winding along ever further down the line. That ribbon of songs keeps on winding along ever further down the line. Well, thank you, friends. Thank you. I see the clipboard making its way around the audience. If you don't want to get emails, I'll tell you a secret. If you don't want to get emails, you just write illegibly. It doesn't work for contact tracing either. That's the downside of it. But I have an email sign-up list over there. Sometimes I think it might be nice to like cut some of them out that people write and frame them, you know, just like maybe we could make a game out of it, guessing what they say. So one of the really cool things about being back out on the road after, like, I was supposed to come here on the last tour. It was April of 2020, in the before times. And I was slated to come out here, and then, you know, this is basically, I moved into a house in Edmonton, Alberta, at the beginning of February of 2020, after like 13 years of living in my van or out of a backpack full time. Wow, I mean, that ended up being really good timing that I had a house to flee back to. But one of the cool things about being back out, there's so many cool things about it. Living in the van again is fun. But one of the coolest things is that my friends have been making new humans while the pandemic was happening. So I've got to meet some new ones already on this trip. And so I want to play this song. This is a song about all the baby making that my friends have gotten up to in the past while. We staggered arm in arm here when we were younger. Tried everything they said we shouldn't do. And we took as many trips as we took lovers. But some of those trips, a dog comes back with you. And some of those trysts turned into tricycles. And my wild and reckless friends got safe and old, wheeling little buddy homeward on the bicycle, with all the hope and joy and poop a bike seat could hold. Now the feral festival kidlets keep changing costumes. They run in a pack and dig holes in the ground. And they like sleeping under the table, just like the dogs do. So you watch your step when there's little ones around. And I'm a better person when I'm hanging with dogs and kids. Got one thing on their mind at a time, can't keep nothing hid. Remind me we're alive, forgive whatever we did. I'm a better person hanging with dogs and kids. So we talk about work and what we're reading, why the bastards keep winning, and where we'd move if they did. We talk about who went home with whom at the party last weekend. But eventually we just watch the dogs and kids. Chasing and sniffing and eating's all they're on about. They don't complicate their blues, they just moan. They don't think much about themselves. They freak out if they got a bone to pick with you. It's probably just a bone. And I'm a better person when I'm hanging with dogs and kids. Got one thing on their mind at a time, can't keep nothing hid. Remind me we're alive, forgive whatever we did. I'm a better person hanging with dogs and kids. My buddy had a run of bad luck and bad choices. If it goes bad in court, one of us has to take his pup. He's trying to learn to listen to the right voices. Hope he don't have to miss his kid growing up. We were all bulletproof daydream manifestors, but all the bluster just boils down to love. Just wanna be a good uncle, be a good ancestor. I'm taking better care when there's someone to take care of. Person when I'm hanging with dogs and kids. Got one thing on their mind at a time, can't keep nothing hid. Remind me we're alive, forgive whatever we did. I'm a better person hanging with dogs and kids. I'm a better person hanging with dogs and kids. Thanks, friends. Was that the bell across the street or something? Oh, up there. Wow. How did they know to put it in D? That was pretty cool. Like, if it was on time, that would have been downright spooky. But in key that's synchronicity enough. That's pretty amazing. This is a really cool thing you guys got going here, this Ripton Community Coffee House. 27 years strong? Is that the case? And after 27 years, it's gone on the road. You've taken your show on the road. Super proud of you. Mark, it sounds great, man. Thanks. I have no requests. So I put out a record during the pandemic. Like August of 2020, I put it out, and it kind of felt like a crazy time to be making thousands of a thing, to get it out into the world without any way for me to actually get out and around the world. But after a certain point, there was just too many people had already paid me their money, and I just had no other choice. I had to go ahead and do it. And for me, putting out a record is something of a production. And it's gotten to be gradually more of a production each time, because I've got this like long-running fascination with liner notes, going all the way back to my early musical education, which was through my parents' record collection. And, I'd be sprawled out on the living room floor with these things, and there was no way, there was no internet then. There was no way to find out anything about the recording other than what they saw fit to write on the jacket, right? And some of these were like extensive. Some of them would unfold and unfold again, and you could pull out the insert and they'd have the lyrics in there. I just drank all that stuff up. So so over the years, as I've been making my own records, I've gradually been putting more and more into the package that goes with them. And those last two songs I played you come from a record called Further Down the Line, which was kind of pushing the definition of liner notes, really. It ended up being 132 pages. Mostly like pictures from my travels, but also the words and chords to the songs, and a little essay in the beginning just about what I was even thinking in the first place when I quit my job teaching kindergarten over in Taiwan and moved into a minivan and set out to impoverish myself all across the country and eventually around the world. So anyway, when it came time to make this new record, I thought there's really nowhere to go from there except further in the same direction. So I went full hymnal this time. It's 240 pages, hardcover, mostly words this time, but also some beautiful eucalypt leaf prints by my friend Cecilia Sharpley down in Australia. And of course, like any good hymnal, it's got a little bookmark, so you can keep your place. Oh yeah, and as a bonus, there's a CD in the back. I think I want to play a couple songs off of that album, and this first one is Going Out by special request to Beth and Mark, those newlyweds. This is a low-budget love song. There's no car chase scene, no moon falling from the sky or mountains crumbling to the sea. I just wanna be around you. I'll try to say it plain, and if you don't believe me, I'll spell it out again. I know it's intricate step work. We don't wanna rush this measured cadence and the distance between us, but I got a steady feeling like I never knew. I'm thanking life for second chances and glory for you. You know so many songs, if singing makes them true, well, play me one where the lovers make it through. When the miles stretch out between us like a hazy memory, when it's storming on the highway and it's getting hard to see, leave a light on in your heart for me. And if I'm running my mouth, won't you put me in my place? Sit my fool self down and look me in the face. You know I'm not the quickest learner, but I'm figuring it out. Waiting for those pretty words to tumble from your mouth. You say you got so many stories, plenty that I know. Tell me one where you don't have to go. When the miles stretch out between us like a hazy memory, when it's storming on the highway and it's getting hard to see, leave a light on in your heart for me. After all that time wondering what could be and could have been, since I landed in your company, the world feels new again. I'm just grateful for the sunlight at just that time of year, and whatever unseen forces conspire to bring us here. So go after your dreams, every place you dare. Just dream us one where I can meet you there. When the miles stretch out between us like a hazy memory, when it's storming on the highway and it's getting hard to see, leave a light on in your heart for me. Leave a light on in your heart for me.
Thank you, and congratulations. All right, I'll play you another one off this new record. I wrote this one thinking about my family. I was born in Morgantown, West Virginia, and moved up to Canada when I was young with my family, and kind of grew up around Western Canada, but all my extended family still lives on this side of the border, and most of them are in Michigan, and some of them are kind of scattered around the South. And let's just say there's a diversity of political opinion amongst the members of my extended family, but they're all good people, and I love them dearly. So I wrote this one for them. I love this country. I love the people and the land, but there's a lot of stuff happening that I can't understand. We got billions for bailouts, we got trillions for wars, but it's hard for working people to make a living anymore. Hear me out for a second. This ain't a partisan song. It ain't about right and left. It's about right and wrong. We're fighting over the scraps while a few are living like kings, 'cause screwing us over's a bipartisan thing. And it's working people who made this country great, not the greedy opportunists or the peddlers of hate. And if a new day's coming, it's gotta come from you and me. Oh, say, can you see? See, I got a neighbor, we don't always agree. He's a bit of a redneck, according to a hippie like me. But if you're in the ditch, he'll pull you out, I know he will. And that's more than I can say for all those dickheads on the hill. He works hard for his family, he's got loyalty and pride. The company took all he gave and then cast him aside. 'Cause there's profit in poverty, hell, there's profit in prisons. And they don't even pay taxes, they just buy politicians. But it's working people who made this country great, not the greedy opportunists or the peddlers of hate. And if a new day's coming, it's gotta come from you and me. Oh, say, can you see? Oh, say, can you see? And in New York Harbor, there's a lady with a flame, still calling in the huddled masses in liberty's name. But there's fear on the airwaves and hatred wrapped in the flag, turning strangers into enemies and our riches into rags. And a revolution to break the grip of greed don't need a strong man or a savior, but I believe we're chambers of our hearts. It's working people who made this country great, not the greedy opportunists or the peddlers of hate. And if a new day is coming, it's gotta come from you and me. Oh, say can you see? Oh, say can you see? Thank you, friends. All right, I'm gonna play you one now that I didn't write, because that's also been an important part of what I've been up to these last 14 years, is trying to carry my friends' songs around. Just because I think through the course of doing this for a living, I've had the opportunity to meet some of the best songwriters alive, and most of them are people that I met around campfires. You know, most of them are not household names, and I figure if the TV or the commercial radio is not going to carry these people's songs around, it's on us singers to do it manually. So I try and drop off my friends' songs everywhere I go, and this one I drop off almost everywhere I go. I don't think it's been dropped off in Bristol, Vermont before. It comes from Barrie, Ontario. And it was written by a guy named Trevor Mills, and it's a baffling piece of songcraft. I don't know how Trevor did it, but somehow in like 2.5 minutes or so, he manages to tell you the whole story of the creation of the world in a way that you might not have heard before. The earth was shipped in a cellophane wrapper to a godlike kid by galactic courier. He'd placed an order from the back of a comic book he'd read when he should have been in school. He had a project due in his socio-anthro-eco, geo-bio, and creationism course that he should have been working on instead of playing games with his gang of omnipotent pals. The project was due in 100,000 years, which can hardly be construed as enough time to populate a planet with intelligent beings who can live in a self-sustaining way. But he saw in the comic book an ad for a planet with a species on the brink of developing intelligence that could be shipped in a cellophane wrapper, and he thought, it's my ticket to an A. Now it might seem to you like 100,000 years is a long time, but if you just consider that the kid with the comic book would see 100,000 years pass like the twinkle of a star. So the kid put the earth on his desk in his bedroom underneath a heat lamp that he kept on. A timer on his walls. He had made constellations using stickers that were stars that could glow in the dark. And he worked as the species on the brink of intelligence grew, found fire, built bombs, and exploded them. He cried when he learned the killing was so often interspersed with the praising of his name. So the kid with the comic book turned on the heat lamp, took a magnifying glass from his leftmost cupboard, and he looked to the earth, picked a symbolic bush, and focused and set it on fire. And when the bush was burning, the people got the message, and the leaders agreed to take responsibility and base their actions on accountability and promise that they'd try to get along. So the kid took the earth to his teacher, who looked and saw good work and the room for improvement. Not a bad first try. B+, and excitement for your many more creations still to come. And now the earth lies wrapped in bubble wrap there on the floor of the closet of the kid with the comic book. His mother checks in every now and then to ensure that things will work out in the end.
and so everything will work out in the end. Thanks, friends. That's Trevor Mills wrote that one. All right, I think I should play you a new one here. This is a song. This is a brand new song on the subject of touring during a global pandemic. I must say, I really appreciate Ripton Coffee House taking precautions, taking the necessary precautions to try and do the minimum of risk, because it's important for people to gather together, and but it's also important that we keep this thing under control. So I've found in a lot of places I've gone along the way, I'm the most cautious person of the bunch, and it's just because I'm thinking of all the people downstream of me, that of the people I'm interacting with now, all the people I'll be interacting downstream, which is kind of a, you know, I've noticed it's kind of a drag to talk about, really. I mean, like, weren't you guys feeling great just not thinking about COVID until I brought it up? Weren't you enjoying that? Anyway, so I thought, you know, if it's such a drag to talk about, I may as well sing about it instead. I wrote this one when I was feverish in bed from the second shot of the vaccine. It's not 'cause I don't love you, I do. It's not 'cause you're not wonderful, you are, it's true. It's not because I'm trying to bug you, it's just 'cause I'm on tour, I won't hug you. 'Cause I'm the type of guy that a nasty virus would love to hitch a ride with and go town to town. I don't mean to lecture, but I don't want to be a vector, just a community connector, spreading nothing but love around. Now my friends are all different kinds of people, you see, and some of them think differently than sheeple like me, for whom the thought of microchip vaccines is outrageous. At least we agree ideas are contagious. And you might think Big Pharma is the devil. It is. And you can bet that I'm as sick as you are of all this. But for now I'm putting cleanliness over godliness. I'm just trying not to infect my audience. 'Cause I'm the type of guy that a nasty virus would love to hitch a ride with and go town to town. I don't mean to lecture, but I don't want to be a vector, just a community connector, spreading nothing but love around. Oh yeah, here's the true story part. Tell you how it goes. Some people say, come play in my yard, Scotty. Don't worry, I'm a total COVID Nazi. But when the invited house guests get to boozing, there's a whole new cozy level to their schmoozing. So far be it from me to make a scene or fuss, but could we talk with the merch table between us, so you can witness just how slick my hustle is? Bring your card, we'll keep it touchless. I'm the type of guy that a nasty virus would love to hitch a ride with and go town to town. I don't mean to lecture, but I don't want to be a vector, just a community connector, spreading nothing but love around. Just a unity infector, spreading nothing but touchless love around. Well, thanks, friends. I think I'll play you one more and we'll take a break. How's that feel? All right. We're doing this by committee here, so. I know you all already know this, but you are very lucky to live in Vermont. It is such a beautiful state, and It's been a while, actually, since I have been like on the blue highways in Vermont, and man, what a gorgeous state. I camped out last night in some real tall trees, and just like soaking up some of the last of the season for that, and just feeling real grateful to be alive on this planet. So I was put in mind of this song. It's called Among the Trees. Remember when we played among the trees, through pine cones and skinned our knees, built for and boats out of paper and wood, and the days lasted so long. Lots of games had their own song, and up until dinner time we had the run of the neighborhood. There was a rainbow in a piece of glass, dewdrops in the tall grass, dark smells and shade, and a puddle of water in an old rubber tire, and a hiding place inside it, and anywhere your bones fit, and inside every story with something to fight against and someone to admire. And the TV signed off at night, remember that? But you could read with a flashlight, and games just took cards or chalk or jacks and a ball. We played grown up with candy smokes and hockey cards in our bike spokes, and climb in a maple tree. The seeds would helicopter as they fall. We'd always known it, but if we knew what it was worth, would we traded it for trinkets from the company store? I ain't saying it was heaven, but at least it was earth. We don't taste much of that anymore. What weight pulled our kites down? What fear drove us from the playground? Convinced us there's only one game, and the point is to win it. What modesty clipped our wings, traded our dreams for things, led from leaf-covered trails to a road with no poetry in it. And can we find our way back somehow, or has our imagination failed us now? Here with the world at our fingertips, doors locked and shades drawn, and can we catch a wild breeze again? Are there still faraways in the wind? Stories worth believing, dreams worth betting everything on.
So we're going to take about a 15-minute break here. So people watching from home, I apologize for this, but you don't get any of our great baked goods. But the people here, you do. So we've got a bunch of things in the back there by the front doors. And it seems kind of contradictory there, the back by the front doors, but you'll figure it out. And we'll be back in about 15 minutes. See you then. Hello again, folks. Time to come find your seats again. And for those of you who haven't been able to buy all the Scott Cook products that you want to, don't worry. He'll be happy to sell those to you at the end of the performance. So I have a correction. Next month's show is going to be at Burnham Hall in Lincoln. We are not going to be able to have it at the Ripton Community Coffee House, Ripton Community House, I should say. So we actually had some people who were watching the first set from home and have come in. So that's great. Oh, and we haven't done a raffle yet. It's going to be very, very quick raffle. So for those of you at home, Beth is now walking around with a basket of names to pull one out. And our first winner?
So Greg Ryan is this wonderful performer from Rochester, Vermont. Absolutely fantastic. Used to have a group, oh no, I think you have this. This is for Sally Burrell, and I think she has it too. Okay, so am I correct with that? This is a very small town. I know. Is Sally in the room? Sally Burrell? No. Moving on. I'm going to give her a different one. Come on, Sally, I just picked your name. You're winning. You're winning. Okay, yeah, okay. So this CD, you're just having your name in here. Madeline Roger, wonderful, another Canadian performer. This is for you. I know, it's like walking in from the fog. What, huh? Oh, look, wireless microphone. Check this out. Okay. Walking around. Sorry, forgot about this. The blank. So this one is George Gross. George, what you get is this CD, Richard Dwayne and Beth Duquette, and that's us, and it won a couple of awards. That's our latest. Okay. Sorry, folks. He said he already had it. He said donate it. Oh, but you should have got something else. Okay. Do you want something else? Caravana Banda. You'll love this. Yes, sorry about that.
This is a polished machine.
Oh, I totally forgot to do this, so it's part of it. Basha. You got to take Greg Ryan. I'm sorry, it's yours. Thank you, everybody.
So if you missed any of that on the video at home, see, we give away CDs here, so you always want to come here. But it's good that you can watch from far away. Anyway, I also want to mention that next week, actually up at Burnham Hall, the Burnham Hall series is going to be presenting Abby Sherman. That's next weekend on Saturday? Yes, next weekend on Saturday. Abby Sherman. Doors at 7, show at 7:30. That's pretty much, and we actually here, I should tell you, the November performance is Kalos, which is a trio supergroup that you definitely will want to check out. And that's going to be also up at Burnham Hall in Lincoln. And now, Scott says he doesn't want to do another set. No, he did not say that. I just wanted to get a shocked look from him. He's like, so cool and suave and everything, so. So, ladies and gentlemen, Scott Cook.
It actually made me feel cool and suave when you said I was. Thanks, man. Tune up the strings, rosin the bow. It'll sing if you touch it just right, and you can almost feel in the kerosene glow our ancestors dancing with us tonight. Dust off the old tunes, there's life in them still. Sun-kissed new grist for the old mill. Plant in the spring, gather in fall, cellar full of jars and brown bag seeds. This land's got food and work for us all. If you like flowers, gotta pull some weeds. Dust off the old ways, there's life in them still. Sun-kissed new grist for the old mill. On bluebird days, wood for the stove, your company and all that time makes summer dancing all the sweeter, hearing creek music and drinking sunshine. Dust off your old boots, there's life in them still. Sun-kissed new grist for the old mill. The old struggle again begun, learning to sing our healing songs, learning that we are the very ones we've been waiting for all along. Dust off your old dreams, there's life in them still. Sun-kissed new grist for the old mill. Dust off your old dreams, there's life in them still. Sun-kissed new grist for the old mill. Well, thanks, friends. Who just showed up? Thanks for coming. You were watching at home and you came? Amazing. Thank you for joining us. I heard somebody else just came from last night or night before last. Just showed up and bought CDs and left. That's nice. Yeah. All right. Thank you to everybody who took an album home. I hope they bring you joy. Here's another song off the new one. You may not believe me, right here where we stand, there was once a creek bed carving through the land. Then a couple rows of houses and nothing after that but wheat fields and train tracks where we made our pennies flat. And on long summer evenings with dinner in the air, We'd fly our bikes down Main Street, wind running in our hair, and we'd pick up cans and bottles till Davy said to stop, and take 'em to the drugstore for a couple ice cold pops. Just enough empties for a full one. Look how it catches the light. It's anybody's ticket till they pull one. I can see forever tonight. See that old factory with the windows boarded up. Me and Davy used to work there before the times got tough. Paid days he'd play the lottery, put his numbers down, but it was an army recruiter, had his ticket out of town. And I just kept on working, I never got ahead. One day a man in uniform informed me Dave was dead. And I drained every bottle and I broke every glass. And when they took the house, I slept under the overpass. And it's a quarter for the big ones, the little ones a dime. The normals don't hassle me, they haven't got the time. And you need a couple bags full to drink another day. Oh, but there were always people just tossing them away. Just enough empties for a full one. Look how it catches the light. It's anybody's ticket till they pull one. I can see forever tonight. This town full of strangers, I remember it back when. How they look at me, they'd never guess that I was one of them. And it's getting rougher by the river. People I never seen dropped off by OxyContin and methamphetamine. But I'm trying to stay sober, trying my best to care. Sometimes at night I catch a whiff of dinner on the air. And I've seen the light drain out of every dream I ever had. But Rosa says she's pregnant and I might be the dad. Just enough empties for a full one. Look how it catches the light. It's anybody's ticket till they pull one. I can see forever tonight. I can see forever tonight. Thanks. Well, I'm going to play you another one of my friend's songs here. And this one comes from a fella named Jonathan Bird. Anybody? We've got any Jonathan Bird fans in the house?
Beth and Mark. Was that Richard? Yeah. All of you have been to the conference. Hey, is that where you guys saw Jonathan? Or at Kerrville? Oh, yeah. Oh, man. So there's a thing in Texas called the Kerrville Folk Festival. It's like the deepest well of song in the English-speaking world that I know of, anyway. And there is a show, like a festival show on a stage and stuff, but a lot of people don't even go to that. They just hang around in their camp sites and swap songs. And yeah, actually, I saw Jonathan at Kerrville last time I was there, I think. Anyway, it's a beautiful thing, and it's in Texas at the end of May, beginning of June, and it's like 19 days long, which is, I'm telling you, it's not for the faint of heart. And Jonathan is from North Carolina. He's actually a seventh generation North Carolinian, and he's nowadays just parked in North Carolina doing his weekly show on Wednesdays outside the Kraken, a roadhouse outside of Chapel Hill. And the last time I was down there to see Jonathan, I got to play that. It was just before everything shut down. And it was pretty amazing to witness. They've got live audiences again now, but it's pretty amazing how it brings everybody together. You know, it's like the most ecumenical thing I think I've ever seen in my music experience. People will come like an hour or two early and bring like crock pots and plug them in and, you know, heat up the food and start having a big old potluck there, right? And it's rural people, right? People will come out from Chapel Hill as well and from further away, but a lot of them are just from right there in White Cross. And, you know, there's everybody there, like the local Democratic Party organizer is one of their regulars, and there's another one of their regulars is a fellow who seems to own every single article of clothing that the NRA has ever produced, and he just swaps them up each time, you know. But they all hang out, they dance together, they sing together, they enjoy music, and it's an amazing thing. It's, you know, Jonathan, his songwriting is a bit ecumenical like that too. Like he, you know, he's got songs about like Bike Week at Daytona Beach, and songs like I Met My Baby at the Tractor Pull, and a song called 38 Baby that compares a woman to a gun. And I think it's supposed to be sexy. Anyway, alongside like abstract poetry, and it's all over the place. This is one of his songs, and when I heard it, I thought, man, that's like, that sounds kind of African. And I thought, oh, I'll see you're African and raise you one. So I adapted it on this Mbira.
I was driving out in Kansas when I heard that song you love, and big sunflowers for all their graces turn their faces to the sun. Son, you can't outrun the radio. You can't outrun the radio. My friends tell me, move to Austin, or maybe Nashville, Tennessee. If I can make it back to North Carolina, I'll let the music come to me. See, you can't outrun the radio. You can't outrun the radio.
Here he goes, NASCAR.
Even Dale Earnhardt, he was hell on a speedway. He was a champion
7 times. He thought he'd make it, one more 500. He went 499. When it's time, you can't outrun the radio. 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 Wherever you go, you can't outrun. Now I'm laid out in this hotel. It's all uphill to fall asleep. I check the FM on the alarm clock and pray the Lord this lap to keep. You can't outrun the radio. You can't outrun the radio. Wherever you go, you know you can't outrun the radio. You can't outrun the radio. Wherever you go, you can't outrun. Thanks, friends. That's Jonathan Bird. Bird with a Y. Wrote that one. So one of the things I did during the pandemic, after I figured out how to make an internet TV show, like all my friends were doing, boy, a steep learning curve on that. We just all got thrown into it. I never thought I was going to be an internet TV show producer. I was talking to Beth beforehand about just like how nervous we get before we're going to go live. It's like way more intimidating than walking up in front of a room full of people for me, just because I had no idea what I'm doing. Like our first one, we thought we had it all set up real good, you know, and we put the iPad up there and everything, and we were going. We were about 2 songs in or something when the iPad overheated and shut off. Well, yeah, when we came back with the phone and it was sideways. And there was no way to make it unsideways. But we sure tried to make it unsideways. So there was like a good, I think for the intrepid viewers had a good 5 minutes of like untaping and retaping things, you know, and of course the microphone's right there, so it's a really good acoustic environment if you like the sound of anyway. I've talked to some people who are like, you know, oh yeah, we saw your internet shows. I'll be like, hey, did you see the first one when we were sideways? And they'll be like, yeah. Tell you the truth, that's the only one we saw. We got a lot better at it, I swear. We had guests. We could like highlight comments. We could, have remote people join us remotely, and started to do like a cooking show and nature videos and all kinds of stuff. It was pretty cool. Anyway, after I figured out how to do that, and then filed 7 years of unfiled taxes. Also a pretty steep learning curve on that. Then I started up a Patreon because I saw a lot of my friends are doing it. And what it is a way people can support creators that they want to support on a monthly basis. And some of those Patreons that I've seen, it can get a little weird. You know, it's like, if you give me $25 a month, I'll call you on your birthday and
mail you a lock of my hair or something like that. It's just a little creepy for my taste. And besides which, I'm a socialist, so I don't have any tiers to the thing. It's just one tier, pay what you can. And my commitment to that is to write and record and release a new song every month to my followers on there, of whom there are 94, I think. Just to kind of, on the one hand, give those folks an inside track on what I'm working on, and for me, just to give me a commitment to create, to keep going and keep working on that, because there's always going to be more emails to send. But I feel like the work I really should be doing is writing songs. So it's been a great source of creative oomph over the past couple months, and I want to play you a couple of those new songs. This one's the first one I released to them. It's set on the Cook family farm in Levering, Michigan. My daddy's dog was an emboldened retriever. If you horsed around, he'd chase you, grab the hat right off your head. Granddad said he was a genius, and he'd make you a believer. One time he said, "Pal, go get my slippers," and Pal did just what he said. And when he was old and blind and moaning, and the vet said there's no use, Granddad sat and watched him sleeping, thinking about what he had to do. Pal was yipping and running down in his dreams so deep. That old pup was chasing bunnies in his sleep. There is a river shining in the sun, sleeping in the tall grass, laughing as it runs, and we'll all be delivered. I can't say what that means, but there is a river, there's a river in dreams. My grandma was steadfast, faithful all her life, prayed she'd be a good girl, kneeling by her bed, became a one-room schoolhouse teacher, a mother and a wife. But when all her work was over, she began to lose the thread. Dreaming in the care home, not hearing the TV, her fingers tracing careful lines across a page we couldn't see, like it was the words of her shepherd who laid his life down for his sheep. She was reading her devotions in her sleep. There is a river shining in the sun, sleeping in the tall grass, laughing as it runs, and we'll all be delivered. I can't say what that means, but there is a river, there's a river in dreams. My great-grandpa built this house when he got back from World War I, using only salvaged lumber and rusty nails he'd straightened out. Never complained about the farm work, but he loved when it was done. In those days, every crick in the pastures was swimming with trout. And like he insisted on driving, even when he was going blind, 'cause he had every twist and turn of those back roads in his mind. In dreams, his hands relived the habits that the old man couldn't keep. Moving just like he was tying flies in his sleep. There is a river shining in the sun, sleeping in the tall grass, laughing as it runs, and we'll all be delivered. I can't say what that means, but there is a river, there's a river in dreams. There is a river in dreams. Thanks, friends. Well, I think I'm going to play another one of these new ones. I think I'm going to do something a little scary for me right now. I'm like 2 days overdue on this new song for this month for my Patreon followers. And I was working on it last night, and I think I got it to where I can at least sing you what I've got. But I might screw it up because it's like brand new. But you guys seem pretty nice. What's that? Wait till I screw it up. Yeah, that's when the knives come out, hey? The other added impetus, just as I was just about to come, as Richard was talking, and I was like, I should play that. The other added impetus is that I think my sweetheart Pamela is watching at home and playing along to the live stream, and she hasn't heard it yet, and it's about her, so I may as well play it for her. Honey, what's this love-struck fool to do? This life is short and so are you. And you got a way that I admire. Headstrong, prairie as a pilot fire. There's so much shifty in this world. I wanna be steady for you, girl. So long running around looking for kicks. This road dog's learning new tricks. And you've had love you couldn't be sure of. I got the kind of love will blow your doors off. There's so much shifty in this world. I wanna be steady for you, girl. Oh, test it, you won't break it. I'll take you anywhere you are. All the way, twice that far. I used to let my whims blow me around. I've seen enough to know what I found. My bags are packed if you want a driver. Honey, I didn't come to kick the tires. There's so much shifty in this world. I wanna be steady for you, girl. There's so much shifty in this world. I wanna be steady for you. I wanna be steady for you. I wanna be steady for you, girl. Thank you, friends. Thank you. That was the scariest bit tonight for me. All right, well, now I'm going to put you on the spot. I haven't asked you to sing yet. Do you feel like singing? Okay, these three people here. What about the rest of you? Do you feel like singing? Okay, Beth is on board. Mark, too. So. He's partially on board. It's okay, you can say no if you don't feel like it. You feel like singing or what? Okay. Okay, and there's one honest person who said no. Thank you. Oh, you said bring it on. Okay, I'll bring it. This one's going out by special request for Beth. And before I play it, I just got to say how grateful I am for you finding me and reaching out to me and bringing me here and trying to bring me here and then sticking with it through all this crazy intervening time and finally making this happen. Thank you. And this is a song about something that I would like to see change in the world. I know there's a lot of things in the world that could use changing. Well, this is just about one particular one. Well, there's a whole lot of uppity women still ain't satisfied with the deal. We let them ride right alongside. Now they want to take the wheel. And the fellas keep saying we got this, 'cause that's the way that it's always been done. Don't all the scriptures say a woman should obey? Didn't a man write every last one? We could take a little lesson from history. All the priests, generals, and kings. There's just nothing like long experience when it comes to making a mess out of things. So fellas, get out the way. Fellas, get out the way. We had our turn, we had our say. Fellas, get out the way. Fellas, get out the way. That's your part, Bristol. Now they want choice and pay equality. Wouldn't believe it how they ran and raved. Back in the day, we just knock them on the head and drag them on back to the cave. And we're still flexing that privilege, though we find ways to ignore it. And ever subtler ways to say she must have been asking for it. Oh, fellas, get out the way. Fellas, get out the way. We had our turn, we had our say. Fellas, get out the way. Fellas, get out the way. Tell you what, I thank God that she made women. Every time I'm in a crowd of guys, they might do just fine without us. Without them, we'd be Lord of the Flies. Whoever said it's bros before hoes, I could tell you that's a load of malarkey. If there's any hope for this whole show, we got to bring on the matriarchy. Fellas, get out the way. Fellas, get out the way. We had our turn, we had our say. Fellas, get out the way. Fellas, get out the way. I got a guy friend who's 30 years married. He backs her up however he can. He says, happy wife, happy life. Seems to me he's a reasonable man. I got a gal friend who's tougher than me. If you cross her, there'll be hell to pay. When I hold the door, it ain't chivalry. No, I'm just getting out of her way. Fellas, get out the way. Fellas, get out the way. We had our turn, we had our say. Fellas, get out the way. Fellas, get out the way. Louder, fellas. Fellas, get out the way. Fellas, get out the way. We had our turn, we had our say. Fellas, get out the way. Fellas, get out the way. Thank you, and thank you for singing. Appreciate it. Well, that song leads
directly into this next song. But before I play it, thank you again. It's so lovely to sing songs for real people in the real world, and especially people who actually came to hear the songs. Thank you for being those kind of people. Long may you run, Ripton Coffee House. All right, and I think I'll leave you with this one. This is also a new one. This is the newest of the songs I released to my Patreon followers, and it's probably going to be the first in an ongoing series of songs, I think, because I've really become convinced that there are so many amazing people doing really heroic things in the world that we don't hear enough about. Whereas there's a handful of totally psychotic people doing awful things that we can't stop hearing about. And personally, I want to sing about the heroes. So I think I'm going to write a bunch of these songs. But for this first one, I chose somebody who I think is just a complete and total badass, the New York State Attorney General, Letitia James.
Friends, the TV news gives me the blues with the stories they run about the crooked, faking assholes taking up all the oxygen. They got ads to sell us, so they don't tell us how to change the status quo or inform the masses about true badasses and folk heroes. Now some good people insist that you can't resist the machine and its will. So many tried and failed, one even got nailed to a cross on a hill. And some other folks say that they'll let you play, but they'll never let you win. And you must be deranged if you dream of changing the system from within. No denying it's a long run, and there's 1,000,001 ways to ruin it. But if you say it can't be done, just stay out the way of the ones doing it, who pay their dues, study the rules, beat them at their own games, like the Queen Bee, New York AG, the fearless Letitia James. Ain't it sweet to see the powers that be go down in flames? They're so unnerved when they get served. Get 'em, Letitia James. Born and bred in Brooklyn, she grew up looking at the world from that view. And her family was tested when her brother was arrested for something that he didn't do. When they went to the courtroom to support him, Tish was a teenager, and she saw everyone in there except the defendants. None of them looked like her. And her vow that day to fight for education took her such a long way to her vocation in litigation. From public defender to attorney general, kicking ass and taking names. From food stamps to the people's champ, the mighty Letitia James. Ain't it sweet to see the powers that be go down in flames? They're so unnerved when they get served. Get 'em, Letitia James. Go on, Tish. Freshly educated at Howard University, Tish went to work for the Legal Aid Society, defended folks who didn't have the dollars, set up a coalition for young black scholars, and it was righteous work, but she was just getting started. Won a seat on city council for the Working Families Party, found irregularities in corporate contracts, fixed payroll and took $600 million back, fought corruption in the NYPD, sued the cops for roughing people up at Occupy Wall Street, fought against developers to keep folks in their homes, knowing poor people can't fight them alone. And next she got elected public advocate, elevated the position by the respect she had for it, heard complaints to try to make things fair, sued the city over foster care, and then in 2019 she was elected AG, and everyone who stood behind her could see that same as ever, She'd be the people's defender, fighting the sharks and the predatory lenders. Even when she was outgunned, she fought anyway, sniffed out fraud and filed suit against the NRA. Never afraid of the powerful so-and-sos like Mayor Bloomberg or Governor Cuomo. Working under people she was way smarter than, dealing out justice that was nonpartisan. I mean, Cuomo was a Democrat, but he was also a creep, and Tish wouldn't have that. She opened an inquiry into the harassment allegations and another into undercounted deaths of nursing home patients. She kept it all in her sights and just kept on picking the right fights to break up big tech, to keep the net neutral. Filed antitrust against Facebook and Google. Sued corporations for fraud and fixing prices. Fined J&J $200 million for the opioid crisis. Fought for tenants and children. Fought for the disrespected and forgotten. She said I won't be found up in an ivory tower. I'll be here on the ground, speaking truth to power, feeling people's pain, doing the job relatably, and never be removed from those who elevated me. Some believe in profit over people, but the Constitution counts us equal when dignity is under attack. On my watch, we're gonna take that power back. And you can see how rich folks could get used to getting their way, and the wealth of trickery and the way the game gets played. Like when it serves them, why not inflate their assets but then undervalue them when they're paying taxes? After a while they could get to thinking they're above the law. But swaggering's a fatal flaw. Like one such chump, he had a long slump, but he kept living large. His name is best forgotten, cause that big fish is rotten and might get caught. Attorney General James is coming in hot with some advice for the crooked shysters who ain't what they claim. You're tempting fate in New York State. Get 'em, Letitia James. Ain't it sweet to see the powers that be go down in flames? They're so unnerved when they get served. Get 'em, Letitia James. Oh, get 'em, Letitia James. Get 'em, Letitia James. I'd be happy to sing one more if you want it. I'd be happy to. Man, you're lovely people. Thank you, friends. It can be a weird, cold world out there. And I'm so grateful to folks like you for coming out and warming up my heart. And saying hey to your neighbors and bringing snacks. They told me I can have whatever I want from the leftovers. Yeah, there might not be many leftovers. Leave me a blueberry muffin, okay? If they're not already gone. If there's one last blueberry muffin, please. Thanks again to Mark doing sound. Thanks to Sean running lights. Yeah. And internet, the stream and all that. Thank you so much to Rick and Richard and the rest of you whose names I haven't got yet. I'm so grateful for what you got going here, and I wish you at least 27 more years of music in Ripton and on the road. This one's I wrote it to be an end of the night song.
But this last year, it's kind of taken on more meanings for me, because there's been a lot of letting go involved in this last year. They're all done sweeping up, and the chairs are stacked for going, while there's drink left in our cups. Here's to when they were overflowing, and all the good times gone, and the urge to tarry on. But I'm hungry for the starlight out beyond the neon glow, and that's how I'm learning to let go. Good friends, haven't we had some times? And I've wished that they could linger. Oh, but don't they feel sublime as they run through your fingers like the last golden dregs of day, or a love you can't make stay, and no amount of wanting will ever make it so. That's how I'm learning to let go. All the sights that filled my eyes, all the wild lands I wandered, all the sweetest things I tried, all the sweet time I squandered, all the loves, the closest ones, and the should-haves and the might-have-dones will be scattered like our money, like our good friends laid low. That's how I'm learning to let go. I've seen my big ideas come and go, seen my father in the mirror, and I'm fading into everyone I know, while the young ones come in clearer. May their hearts be wide and true, may they find comrades like you, and the good seeds that we planted, may they live to see them grow. That's how I'm learning to let go. I've heard about a land beyond the sky, where the righteous go in the end, but I don't know how I'd rest there by and by, without all my wicked friends, and the land calls to me. Someday she'll take all of me and feed me to the flowers that lie dreaming 'neath the snow. That's how I'm learning to let go. Thanks so much, y'all. Stay kind.
In this mic. Okay, yeah. The once it gets put on mute, it just doesn't want to come out of mute. But anyway, thank you so much to Scott Cook. Wasn't he amazing? He will still sell you CDs and books and stickers and everything he's got back there. So definitely don't feel you have to leave immediately. And also we have still a lot of those wonderful treats that were made, and they are just waiting to be used for brunch tomorrow. When you wake up, you're going to want one of those. So go make your way to that. Next weekend, next Saturday up in Lincoln at the Burnham Hall, is going to be Abby Sherman. And then next month, the first Saturday of the month, right here we're going to have Kalos. So, or not right here, sorry. As part of the Ripton Community Coffee House, we're going to have Kalos, but we will be up at Burnham Hall in Lincoln. So thank you, everybody, for coming. Hope to see you next month. Bye now.